Hi.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. Yeah,
Damn,
yeah,
I'm actually meeting you.
yeah, it's kind of crazy. Um, yeah. So, welcome
Yeah,
to He Talks. Yay!
thank you.
Thanks for being so down. I didn't know I didn't know how you were, so I was like, oh, what would she say? But yeah, you were so down. Let me know, how did you start singing? Like, how did the
Mm.
songwriting start?
Oh my God, that's a great question. I actually wrote my first song, I think, when I was 9. And you would think
Whoa.
like, oh, she writes songs when she's 9. Ooh, but actually, my family, we wanted to go to Hong Kong Disneyland
Mhm.
and I got so excited. So I used to be obsessed with Hannah Montana. So then
Oh,
I took one
yes.
of her songs. Wait, no, I should say I wrote my first song when I was 9 because I took one of Hannah Montana's songs and then I switched the lyrics and
Mm-hmm.
then I turned it into like a going to Disneyland song. So it was like, I'm going to Disneyland to meet Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse. And then that's just, I guess that's where it started. And then I wrote like a proper song when we were moving out from Langkawi, where we used to live. And then I wrote like a sad, like goodbye song. It wasn't that good, but then I think that's where it started. And then ever since then, I would write a lot of songs in school. So if
Mm-hmm.
I'm having math class, I would not pay attention and I would just write songs. And then the best ones were before an exam. All my friends are like studying and they're like working on their stuff, you know. And then my teacher, he brought in like a little keyboard to our class.
Oh.
So that's where I would spend all my time and everyone's studying and I'm like writing this, writing that. But I don't know, it was more like, I guess um sometimes in JB you don't have a lot of things to do and there's only so many people you can meet, there's only so many experiences you can have.
Mm-hmm.
So then in the end I was like, I want to do something, but then I don't have money to do things, so in the end I just wrote about how I can't do things, but then it turned out pretty okay.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
yeah, I guess, yeah,
you have an amazing voice. Just want to say, like,
thank you so
I
much.
was, you know what? I was like, oh my gosh. Like, literally, I saw the video of you sing Chasing Me Down at 11F, shout out.
Yes.
And it was so good. Like, I was trying to guess, like, what were the like, who do you listen to? Like, who's your influence? Because it was like a very R&B, soulful sound.
Yeah. Um, Honestly, I listen to a lot of music. I can't really like pinpoint one because I go from like music from the 30s, like Frank
Oh,
Sinatra, those kind
yeah.
of stuff, and then I go all the way to like Broadway music. But then I also like vibe with like Daniel Caesar,
Yeah, yeah.
her, those kind of people. But then at the same time, I also really love Taylor Swift and how
Mm-hmm.
she writes her songs.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the same time, like I love jazz so much. I love Tom, I don't know how you say his name, Tom Minch. I'm not sure.
Tomish, the guitarist.
Yes,
Yes.
I love him so much. And
So good.
then I don't know, I just kind of listen to everyone. And also, Billie Eilish's brother Phineas.
Yeah.
I love how he writes his songs.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, who else do I listen to? Adam Melchor, if you know him.
No.
I love how he writes his songs, but yeah, I guess musically, like I listen to a lot of things, and then when it comes to songwriting, I pinpoint a few people that I like, and then I try to like study their stuff. But really, I just listen to anything that I vibe with. If I hear it and I like it, it's
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, I'll
Yeah,
listen to
yeah,
it.
yeah. Yeah, get you.
Yeah.
Wow. So I don't know, like, so do you plan on like writing songs and like releasing them, or is it just like something for fun?
It started out for fun, but then I think I might start releasing them. I don't really know how. I think I'll probably just put it on YouTube or maybe SoundCloud. but I think that's something I'm gonna do in the new year, 2021. 2020 has been interesting, but 2021, like, you know, let's go kill it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I recently just bought like a little mic thing from my friend to record stuff.
Oh.
So I think I'm gonna try record my songs, but I have a video coming up because during quarantine I started missing my friends because a lot of my friends, they're all like halfway across the world, which is really sad because they're all so far. But so I started writing about how much I miss them. And then in the end, I was like, oh, why don't I make a video about this? So I compiled a bunch of like moments that I've had with my friends. And then I kind of just stuck it into one. So I'm gonna release that next year, probably January or February, depending on when. But yeah, I think I'm gonna start releasing stuff next year, hopefully if school doesn't get too crazy. But yeah, I don't know, we'll see.
Well, if you're studying in KL, I can definitely like hook you up with people that I know.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
that'll be
yeah,
so great.
yeah. Just drop me a text and yeah, I'll see what I can do for you.
Yes, thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Oh, that's so cool. So like, how do you feel like, because you've moved around a lot, I assume. Like do you ever feel like settled when you're in JV, or like yeah, like having friends around the world is kind of like a struggle, like because I studied in Malaysia until I was 12, and then I started studying in Singapore for secondary school and A levels, and then now I'm here in the UK. And like it's kind of crazy because when I went back to Malaysia in June, I was stuck in JB because like the borders were closed and I couldn't go to Singapore to like visit my friends. And I was only in JB, like I only grew up in JB till I was 12. So like the people I know in JB are probably like my primary school friends, and let's be real, who keeps in contact with your
Yeah. Yeah.
So like I was just like, there was not a lot of people that I could like go to when I was in JB. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I started like, you know, lockdown vibes. You just reevaluate your whole life. Like with yourself, like with your thoughts. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I literally have friends like all over the world. So what, like, yeah, it's kind of crazy. So how do you feel with that? Like, yeah.
Oh, dude, I totally relate to you because it's like when you're moving a lot. I mean, I know some people who are like 17, 18, and they've moved to, I don't know, 5 countries, 8 countries. Like that's insane. And I've only really moved to Malaysia. That's pretty much it. But in Malaysia, I've moved to like quite a few places. But I totally relate. I think like we're third culture kids, if you've ever heard about that. And I love like going online and looking up like third culture kid problems because it's like, oh, wait. But I don't know how I deal with it. I just write songs about it.
The best way.
Yeah, but I think sometimes it's great when you get to move around a lot because you get to learn the culture of the area you're in, you get to meet new people, all that stuff. But then on the flip side, it's just honestly so much harder because like you're never in one place, and then all the friendships that you build in this specific place, it only lasts for so long because in the end you'll move again or your friends will move, and then it's just kind of sad because then in the end like no one's really there and all the friends you've made either has moved away or you moved away. So that's the sad part of it. Then it gets, you know, sometimes hard because you're like, oh, I need more friends. Then you have to like hunt for more friends.
Oh my gosh.
But yes, and then it's like hard to find like deep friendships sometimes where you can actually connect to the person.
Yeah.
So the minute you actually find a friend that you connect to, you're like, I need to hold on to you. Yes. But I think, I don't know, I think you just make the best of it. I guess. And then, but the great thing is, if you do travel around the world, then you would have friends in Switzerland, you'd have friends France, in Germany, or like Australia. In the
Yeah.
end, when you go traveling, everyone's like, yo, come stay at my place. And then you're like, ooh, okay.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. Definitely. I
Yes.
think I didn't move that much any like as well, because when I was studying in Singapore, I was like traveling. Like I still lived in JB, but
Yeah.
I studied in Singapore. So that was that. And then I stayed in Singapore for 2 years because of A-levels, because I couldn't like travel anymore. And I didn't move that much, to be honest. I just moved to Singapore for 2 years and then I came here. So it was just
Yeah.
and Malaysia and Singapore is like so near, it doesn't really count. But like I still struggle with it, which is so weird. Like, why? Like, you really like feel the cultural difference when like
Yes.
you really move to somewhere else. Like
Yes.
you would just think like, oh, Malaysia and Singapore is so similar, but it's so different. Like the culture, the people are so different. And coming here to the UK just like magnifies it, because I'm like out of the situation and I see it now from another country. So I'm just like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy. And the making friends part, like I've never had to hunt for friends because you're in school, you just hang out with people and friends just kind of come naturally. Like you just find your people. But in university, you have to like, okay, it's a new country. I don't know how things work here. I don't know how people think.
Yeah.
Like, where do I start? But I'm very fortunate to like find friends like in the UK. Like I know I'm fully aware that it's not the case for a lot of people. Like a lot of people like struggle with friendship when they're in university. But yeah, it's this third culture thing. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Yes.
Third culture aside, do you have a song for us?
Oh no, wait, you're breaking off.
Oh.
So now I'm gonna sing, I don't want to say it, but Bish's Broken Hearts by Billie Eilish. It's a cover, so here we go. You can pretend you don't miss me. You can pretend you don't care. All you wanna do is kiss me. Oh, what a shame I'm not there. What is it you want? You can lie, but I know that you're not fine. Every time you talk about me, but you swear I'm not on your mind. You can pretend you don't miss me. You can pretend you don't care. All you wanna do is kiss me. Oh, what a shame I'm not there. Everybody knows you and I are suicidal, stolen art. Pretty mama sews stitches into all your bitch's broken heart. You can pretend you don't miss me. You can pretend you don't care. All you wanna do is kiss me. Oh, what a shame I'm not there. Somebody new is gonna come for you like you want me to. Somebody new is gonna come for me like you never do. Every now and then it hits me that I'm the one who got away. I guess being lonely fits me, and you were made for begging to stay.
Yes, sing it, girl. Oh, that was amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a question for you. What is one of your highlights in 2020?
Ooh, that's a good question, actually. I think there's been a lot of like crazy stuff going on in 2020, but I think, well, I just started college in August, And I think in 2020, I sort of got like a new mindset where I'm like, okay, let's work hard so we can make a good future for ourselves, for myself, and then make some like good money hopefully in the future so that I can be generous and then sort of give it all away to people who need it, and then invest in like, I don't know, things that can help people and make the future better and improve people's lives. So I think for me, the highlight would be having that mindset, honestly. I've
Wow.
had some good memories with my family. I've had like um, movie nights with them and FaceTiming a bunch of friends that I've lost contact with, but then talked again. And I remember this one time when quarantine just started and we couldn't meet anyone, I took out a yoga mat and then I put it like outside of my house near the parking lot. And then I read a book. I brought a cold drink and I pretended that I was at the beach. um, that's like
That's
a
so
good
funny.
memory. Yeah. But I think those are all great. It's all great memories, but I think it's more of that like mindset shift that I've had for myself.
Yeah.
I think that is like a really good moment that I will keep forever in my heart from
Yeah.
2020. And actually what got like my mindset to change to actually, I don't know, like work hard to try, get a better future for myself, and hopefully once I have a better future I can help other people get a better future, is, I don't know if you've heard of Mosaic Church.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm obsessed with Mosaic. But Erwin and his son, so like the main pastor and his son, they have a podcast called Battle Ready. And it's basically like a leadership podcast. I guess that's what they call it. But it just really forces you to think about your life, about, I don't know, just it really forces you to think about everything. So I got really inspired by how they live their life, because I think Erwin, he started a fashion company because he's into fashion, but he did it over the quarantine months. And through that, he actually got to hire a lot of people, and they all were laid off from their jobs in quarantine. And because he started his company with his son, they got to hire a bunch of their friends who lost their jobs. But I guess that's sort of the kind of thing that I get really inspired by, because usually people are just like, oh, I want to start a company, I want to get rich, I want to do all these things. But then when it comes to like Erwin and Aaron, his son, they just approach life from such a different point of view. So I've
Mm.
been listening to their podcast throughout the whole year, and it's literally like, just it changed my life. Like, you should totally listen to
Oh,
it.
I will.
But it's just, yeah, I just got really inspired by that. I don't know, it's really like a different take on life and money and God, and it's just, I don't know, I think it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So what's the dream for you? Like, what kind of field are you gonna go into? Or like,
Mhm.
yeah.
Honestly, I don't know yet. Like when I
Good
graduated high
answer.
school, when I graduated high school, I actually took like a 2-year gap year, which is quite a lot, because I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Mhm.
But only recently, a few months ago, then I was like, oh, okay, college, like this thing that I'm doing is the path for me to go. But honestly, I don't know, like I want to write songs and put them out and sing them and stuff, and travel across the world and sing them. But then at the same time, I also am interested in like other things. I'm just interested in everything. Like you're doing film, right?
Yeah.
I was watching some behind the scenes stuff yesterday from Little Women and The Holiday,
I
and I'm
love
like,
that show. I mean, that
yes,
film is so good.
so yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so in love with movies. And actually, when I graduated high school, I thought of going to film school, but I don't know why I didn't go. But like that's the thing, I'm just so interested in films, I'm interested in songs, I'm interested in events. I love shows. I love like bringing people together, and I'm just a confused human being, honestly.
What are you looking forward to in 2021?
Dang. I know a lot of people has been just like pessimistic throughout 2020 and about 2021, but I think um mm, I haven't thought of this yet, but it's great because you got me thinking. I think just for opportunities and more creativity and more generosity. Like I'm big on generosity. I'm not working or anything, I'm not earning, but I really just want to be generous to people. um I think those are the things I'm looking forward to, and just also college, because I love learning. I love filling my head with things. The system of school, I don't know if it's the best for me, but I do like learning. So I think I'm just sort of excited for everything, looking forward to everything, because I feel like if you just kind of live your life and just really take in every moment as it is, not like, oh, I wish I was here, I wish I was there, which is something that I go through a lot, because I'm like, oh, my friends are halfway across the world, I wish I was there. But then I learned this year, because of quarantine, you can't really go anywhere, to just sort of take things as it is, and then you just sort of live a happier life. Like, wow, I'm so grateful that I'm living in like a great country and all those things. So I think I'm just excited for everything: college, opportunities, music. I will put out my music. Like you gave me that little like, I will put it out. That friend video I'm doing, I'm gonna put it out. Just, I don't know, I'm excited for everything. Like
That's
everything.
so good. Well, you said that you are big on generosity. Is there like a particular group of people that you like have a burden for?
Ooh, I love that question. Um, I don't think so. Just anyone in general. I have a huge heart for the youth, like teenagers, maybe young adults. Like I guess people from 20ish who are just starting college. I have a huge heart for them. But for those group of people, it's more to like, oh, I wish that you would see yourself the way, since I'm a Christian, so I wish that people would see themselves the way God sees them, the way Jesus sees them, and that is like, you are beautiful and you are creative and like you are worth it, you are enough, that kind of thing. But then I don't know if you would call that generosity, but I think in terms of like sort of giving things away and helping other people, just anyone. I think just anyone that you can help is great, because in the world there's a lot of good and there's also a lot of like bad stuff. And I think just to be that person who is like, oh, do you need bread? I'll buy you bread. Or not
Yes, so
even in
good.
terms of like money, but in terms of like you just spending time with someone. Like over Christmas, now I go to Kingdom City, JB, and over Christmas, this girl Carissa, she has some international friends who are stuck in Malaysia, who goes to the same college as her, and they don't have their family with them, and they come from like Sri Lanka, Hong Kong, and all these places. And so Carissa was like, why don't we make little gift packs for them? So she personalized names with like candy and little gift bags and stuff. And then, sorry, and then we just met up with a few of them and we just gave it to them, and we're like, oh, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And we spoke to them for a bit, hung out with them, and it really made their day, because a lot of them, they don't have their families, obviously, because they're outside of their country. So they only have Zoom calls and each other, which is really sweet. But then it's also hard at the same time. So I guess you could count that as generosity, as just like giving something as little as like a card and being like, hey, I'm here for you. Hey, like we're all in this together, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of a particular group that I have a burden for, I think just anyone really,
That's
like
so
old, young, just I want to like
good.
really reflect God's heart, you know?
Yes, yes. I think you just have a big fat heart for people.
I
It's so good
do
to
love
see.
people.
And I love that you were saying that people, like, you want people to see themselves the way God sees them. That's so good. Because I think like for college, people just turn like what, 19 or 18 and they move out
Yeah.
of their homes and they're trying to like kind of discover who they really are as like an individual, you know, like away from their family. And it's such a
Yeah.
crucial point of time to like reach out to them, because like you are like, you know, people don't realize, like, you don't, I think people don't deep this enough. You are like a child of God. Like, even like, let's say for girls, you know, like, you are a daughter of God. Do you know what that means? Like, if you
Mm-hmm.
think about it, like, if you are a daughter of Bill Gates, like the richest
Mm-hmm.
person on earth, like, people wouldn't mess with you like that. You know, you wouldn't let people mess with you like that because you know who's behind you.
Yes.
Like, I was literally thinking about this like the other day. So like, you are a daughter of God. Like, think about it. How much more self-esteem would rise, you know, when people actually like understand. Like, even as Christians, you know, we don't really kind of think about this, but like, it's huge. Like, the King of Kings is your father.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine? Like, I'm just
Yes.
so excited to think about this. Like, I think 2020 just made me kind of really lean into that identity that, oh my gosh, I am a daughter of God. Like, I'm not gonna let that boy, you know, mess with me because
Thank you.
I'm a daughter of God. Like, do you know who you're
Yes.
messing with? You know,
Yes.
it's so
Yes.
important for people to know that. And like, once you kind of take that in, like, your life changes. Like, the way you see life, it's just, yeah, life changing, honestly. So
Yeah. Completely. And you know, there's like some girls and even guys who, when it comes to like boyfriends or girlfriends, they just settle and then they're like, oh, you know, this guy likes me, blah blah blah, he's not treating me well, all these. But it's like, no dude, no, like if you're a guy or a girl, like, dudettes, come on, like, you are so worth it. And you are like, come on, there's only one of you in this world. Like, freaking Mona Lisa, I don't know if they've sold Mona Lisa, but I would think like it's just there in the museum and no one can move it. Like, if Mona Lisa, just like a painting from like paint, is priceless, what more are you? You know,
come
like,
on.
that's the kind of thing that I really want young people to know, because then your identity is really what creates the world that you live in, the friends that you have, the places that you go, the things that you do, the things you say, the things you believe in. So it's more like your identity is like the most crucial thing. And then if you're putting it in the wrong, okay, I won't say the wrong places, but in places that are not so, I don't know, like, good. I don't know how I can put it. I need to communicate better, but if they put it in places that are just, you know, not up to their standards, that's it.
Mhm.
Then it's like it's kind of sad, because I'm like, I wish you could see yourself like as more, like, you're up here. Like, do you know that? Like, don't look at yourself as down here, because you're up here. Like, come on, you got this, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Okay, I think I'm gonna let you perform the next song. But before we do that, can you just like kind of tell us what's the song about, and yeah, what inspired you to write the song?
Yeah. um well, it's great that we were talking about the whole young people and identity thing, because it's kind of about that. For me, I think for anyone listening to it, it can mean whatever it wants. Like it can be whatever it is to you. But for me, when I wrote it, it was more me communicating with Jesus. So, um, sometimes, in life, just like your parents, you want to make them proud. And so the same goes for me when it comes to Jesus, when it comes to my father. I want to make him proud. I want to be like, God, like, I want to do my best for you and all these things. And then you do it. But then, sometimes life hits and then you kind of like lost your streak. But then it's sort of about that when you're just like, I want to do my best for you, God. But then after that, you kind of like failed. And then you're like, oh crap. Oh no, I need to do better. But that's really what it's about, like wanting to make someone proud, wanting to do the best you can for someone, and then just kind of failing miserably. But then having that person, which can be anyone for you, but for me it's Jesus. So having Jesus just being like, hey, listen, like, thank you for trying, you are great, and although like it's hard, but listen, I'm still here for you. That's really what it's about. That's why in some of the lyrics, which you'll hear later, it's like, oh, it's like your love is still chasing me down. Although, like, after all that I've done, you still love me the same. You come with open arms. It's that kind of love that I'm writing about, that kind of unconditional love, and having someone that can love you as much as the heart can. That's what it's about.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Thank you. I'm excited to sing it.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, here I go. Wait, I need chords again. I'm like a blind person without chords. Okay. I've known you for a while now. Your blood is there in my veins. When my body was crafted, no 1 ounce of mistake was made. But I struggled with myself. I couldn't wake up. Tell me how my brokenness attracts you. 'Cause when the voices take over my head, invisible you see me like nobody else does. You love me and nothing can stop you from chasing me down. After all that I've done, you still love me the same. You come with open arms. You search what's in my heart, take away the bad parts. You change the game. When I don't know what I'm doing or where I'm going, you take my hand, you guide me. When I feel all alone and sad is my song, you pull me out into the light. 'Cause when the voices take over my head, invisible you can stop you. 'Cause when the voices, they take over my head, I become invisible. You see me like nobody else does. You love me and nothing can stop you from chasing me down.
Oh my gosh. You know, actually, I was like, when I saw your video, I was like, I'm gonna do this show because I just want to hear her live, like for selfish reasons. I just want to hear her sing that song.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah. And in the video, you went into no matter what I
Yeah, I did.
oh.
I went into what song is it called? Something about love. Where I've been.
It's a Planet Shaker song.
Yes, you have removed my shame. You take me
Covered by your
by
bass.
covered.
That took us so long.
We got it at the same time. Yes, I went into Covered by Planet Shakers because I felt like the message of that song really fit into like change the game. And it's just because I feel like in life people are like they love you one day and then the next day it's like, oh, you did this or blah 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 blah, or like you just disappoint me or whatever, and then they like leave you, which like we're all guilty of. I know I am. But then that's what I love about Jesus, because it's like
Spill the tea, honey.
because it's like when it comes to him, he's like, listen, like you messed up, but I still love you, which is actually a lot of like people in the world, that's the kind of love that they're looking for. And I'm like, man, I wish you could just see like you can get this love right here. That's why I wrote the song, because I feel like Jesus just game, which is the title, and it's like he's just he's changing the game. That's why I went into like, no matter where I've been, no matter what I've done, you take me as I am, you love me as I am. I love that song. But yeah, that's why I like mashed it up, because I don't know, it felt right.
I was shook when you sang like the bridge of that song. I was like, oh my gosh, this girl just brought worship to 11F. Like, what?
That's the point, because like this is something that I've been exposed to, and I don't know, I feel like people who are Christians, they feel like, oh, if I put music out, like I am not holy, or I am like, you know, a disgrace to the Christian community or whatever. But then it's like, no, like we need your message out in the world. Like you've got concerts and people, you know, going to clubs and all these things for music. And I'm like, why can't we be there? Like, why aren't the Christians, the people who love Jesus, who are just wanting to love people, like, why aren't we in the clubs? Why aren't we in the concerts? Why aren't we on the streets? Like, why are we so like scared? Like, why, like we should be the ones that are like doing this, you know? Because when it comes to like music and stuff, a lot of it, like the entertainment industry and music, a lot of it is like pretty, I don't know, like dirty, like, oh, you need to do this to get this, or like you have to like, I don't know if you can put this in, probably cut it or something, I don't know, but like, oh, you have to sleep with this person to get this record deal and that kind of stuff. But it's like, why can't the Christians, like, why can't we change the world? Because like music is a big deal. It has so much influence, and it's like, you know, why
all these questions.
Yeah, but yeah, I think bringing music, not necessarily gospel music, but just music that is honest and that tells a message, and just bringing that into the world, I feel like that's important.
Yeah, definitely. I think I think sometimes Christians, like, we have to appear like nothing is wrong with life. Like, we have this pressure to do that because, like, oh, you have your God, like, isn't your God like this? You should be, perfect in some sense, but like, we are still human and we mess up, and that's why Jesus came, actually, because we messed up.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know where it came from, but the church just wants to be like, you know what, yes, you have to be fine, you can't be angry, you can't be sad, you can't be depressed. If you're depressed, something's wrong with you. That means you need to pray more, you need to fast and pray and do all this, like. But at the same time, like, the pastors are like committing suicide. Like, we just need to be more real in church. There's no, you can say the word sex, it's fine.
Yes, thank you.
Like, if you don't even say the word in church, the kids are going to hear it somewhere else in school.
Yes.
If you don't teach them in church, we're going to learn it somewhere else, and you don't want them to learn it somewhere else. You can be honest with your kids. Like, they probably already know, and we just need to be more real. And you don't have to sing about how God is good all the time. You can sing about how you struggle with your faith, but God still came through. Like, and I do see, like, more gospel artists, like, rising up that, like, comes from that place to, like, just being vulnerable and honest with their walk in Jesus Christ. And that's, like, what we all need. Like, we just need to see, we need to see, we just want to relate to someone. You don't want to walk, like, this journey alone, and like, trying to put up a front, and don't want, like, people just are so scared to be embarrassed in, like, our culture, like, especially, like, the Chinese culture. Like, everything behind closed doors. Like, if your business is failing, you don't tell anyone. But if your business is, like, flourishing, you're just, like, inviting everyone to your restaurant. Like, there's this whole pressure of, like, being perfect and, like, hiding your flaws in our culture. But I just think that's, like, so toxic, and that's not a nice, like, culture to pass down. And it's just so also, like, dishonoring God in some way, because, like, like, you need to share your story for people to, like, know Jesus. And because it's not about you, it's about how good Jesus has been in your life. So I don't know, I just feel like that's why, like, we need, like, people like you who write songs like that. And I don't know if you know Jonathan McReynolds.
Yes, he sang with Tori Kelly.
Yes, he did.
In the album,
He's, like, one of my favorite gospel artists, like, of all time, and he, like, writes really good songs.
I've never listened to him, actually. I'll put him in my Spotify.
I'll send him to you, like, send his stuff to you. But
yeah.
And there's this guy called Montel Fish that does, like, really cool stuff.
Also, Montel Fish did a song with this, like, sort of poet guy on YouTube. Do you know him?
Is it Joseph Solomon?
Yes. Wait, no. But he's good too. But, like, this other wait, hold on.
Jonathan, is it Jonathan as well?
Not Jonathan Ogan, but I love Jonathan Ogan.
He's really good.
He's so good. What is it called? So this guy's on YouTube, but he's like a Miles Carter. Do you know him?
Oh, I've never heard.
So he's on YouTube, and he started out writing poems, and he just, like, sort of takes videos, and then he has the poems on text. And then I've been following him for, like, a few years, I guess. But then I didn't know he was Christian until he started writing, like, putting out the poems that are more like Christian vibes. Like, when something is Christian, you just know it. You're like, that's Christian.
Yeah.
And I found out he was Christian, and so he did a song with Montel Fish, and I forgot what it's about, but I'll send you the video. It's just It's like poem mixed with music, and it's just
Do you just want to tell us, like, what's next for, like, are you writing another song now? I know you're editing that video.
Actually, I am writing a song, like, right now. I was on my guitar, I think 2 days ago or something, and I played these chords and I was like, wait, this sounds like a song. So I'm writing one about like where I'm at in my life right now, and like the struggles of actually being a third culture kid. I've been really into that stuff recently. So I kind of wrote about that. But yeah, I'm still in the process. But what's next? I guess just posting more stuff on YouTube and being more active, because I've had my YouTube channel for like quite a while, for a few years, but I never really posted anything on it. Like I would post like once a year. But this year I was like, okay, no, like we should do something. So I think next year I'm gonna like do more, write songs, put it out. Hopefully open like a Spotify account. I'd love to do that. Also because I have a podcast that I just started I think 2 months ago or something. That was another thing that God put in my heart. He was like, you need to start a podcast to just, spread like good vibes and a fresh perspective on things that are like, hopeful and stuff. So I did that. We only have 2 episodes out, but I guess that's more things to look forward to that I'm excited about. Yeah, just everything. Music, podcast, videos. Yeah, anything I can get my hands on.
Yes, that's amazing. Well, like I'll put all the links down below. Such a YouTube thing. It's so gross
I
to
know,
do. I
right?
hate it, but but it's just like a great way to close like a conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the links will be down below. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you guys at the next episode. Bye. All right, we're done. We're done. Oh,